All right, here we go. All right. So I've been talking this week about negativity, the effects of negativity, and how we all know someone who's forever always sees the glass half empty, or complains about everything, or just thinks nothing goes right in their life, and which is why nothing goes right in their lives. But that there's something that we can do to help with that, and it's basically to listen, and perhaps then, if the time is right, to offer some ideas about them focusing on all of the good things in their life, like a grandchild, like a child, like a pet, like that first cup of coffee in the morning or a cup of tea, to focus on those things. And the other antidote for that negativity is for us to be positive. And the more we exude positive energy, it flows, and it helps everyone around you. So you also know those people who walk in a room and they light it up, and that erases all the negative energy. So with that thought in mind, we'll begin our practice. And our practice today will keep us very close to the earth, connect us with the earth. It'll help us to really wake up all our joints too. So close your eyes and come inside. And deepen your breath. Bring a hand to your belly. And as you breathe in deeply, feel your hand fill up with your belly. And when you exhale, feel your hand move towards your spine. Notice the shape your belly takes. While it's in your hand, you can actually feel your breath. It's not just air. And then when you inhale, it contracts, your hand moves in. Next, bring your hands, both hands, to your ribs with your middle finger touching. And when you breathe in deeply, see how your middle finger comes apart. And when you exhale, they join back together again, your ribs widening and narrowing. Notice the shape your breath takes in your ribs, in your diaphragm. Feel the power of your breath in your hands. Next, bring your hands up to your top of your breastbone, top of your chest. Inhale and feel your chest rising into your hands. Exhale, feel your hands and your chest descend. Inhale, feel the rise, feel the shape of your breath up this high in your chest, and feel it as it lowers down. Feel it, the difference in how it feels. And then leave one hand on your breastbone, put the other on your belly, and continue to breathe and feel this cascading motion from your belly through your midsection all the way up to your chest. Feel that sensation, that cascading like waves on an ocean. And feel how your breath has another shape here and how it moves. Then release your hands to your thighs and return to your natural rhythm of breathing. And then slowly open your eyes to take in the light. Okay, excellent. So we're going to start today in child's pose. So if you have a blanket that you like to use under your knees, then place it on your mat. And come to child's pose. Come all the way inside. Let your arms stream alongside your legs, back behind you, your fingers pointing back, like a little shell, like a little bean, an egg, or this wonderful introverted pose, turning inward. Release your arms and send them out overhead for an extended child's pose. Look up between your hands. Come onto the fingertips of your right arm and thread your left arm underneath your right. Let your shoulder come as far down to the earth as you are able. You can lift your hips a little to help with that. And then look under your right arm, as if your nose could go through it. Then flatten your palm as you unthread back to parallel arms looking forward. Come onto the fingertips of your left hand and thread your right arm underneath. Let your shoulder come as far down as it comfortably can to the mat. Lifting your hips if you need to. And sending your gaze all the way underneath, maybe moving your head a little bit farther underneath. Release your right arm, parallel arms in front of you. Look forward, walk your fingers a little bit farther. And then lift your hips. You're going to come forward with your hips. You're going to bring your heart between your arms. Let your legs lengthen behind you. Set your arms so that your wrists are under your shoulders. Your heart is between your arms. You're looking forward. This is a variation of up dog, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Make sure that you're not shrugging your shoulders, that you're pushing the mat away from you with your hands, that your middle section is moving away from the mat a little bit so we don't sag. Yeah, so come to a nice, beautiful, perfect arc. Inhale and then exhale, send your hips back to your heels. Inhale, come up through a cat spine, pause in your cat spine. And then inhale into your dog spine in between your arms, right where we just came from. So let's do that again. You're going to inhale and then exhale to your cat, send your cat to your heels. You're going to inhale and then exhale as you come back up into your cat, and then inhale as you come forward. Turn under your toes, downward facing dog. Get your alignment here, making sure your heels are moving to the mat, that your arms are rotated outwardly, meaning the crease of your elbow is reaching up to the sky, and you're pushing the mat away with your hands, your chest coming towards your thighs. And once you have your perfect dog, then begin to walk your dog, bending one knee, and then alternating, bending one knee and the other, your feet staying in the same place. So this pose, when you send your heel to the mat, opens up the back of your legs, the walking your dog. And then come back to your dog, and then set your left leg down underneath your left hip. Swivel your right foot on the mat, fan open. Send your arm alongside your ear. Send your toes in the opposite direction for a long, full side body stretch. Bring your hand back down to the mat. Turn under your toes, down dog. Bring your right leg down underneath your right hip. Swivel your foot and fan open, opposite side. Send your arm alongside your ear, your toes away from you. Long side body stretch. Make sure your shoulder is over your wrist. Bring your hand down and bring your hips back to your heels. You're going to come up into table. So in table, your wrists are underneath your shoulders. Your arms, again, are rotated outward so that your crease is coming toward your index finger, crease of your elbow. And you're going to, on an inhale, curl your spine towards the mat. Your heart is coming forward, similar to the way we just were in that long up dog. Exhale, cat. Feel your shoulder blades spreading apart. Feel the curve, the arc of your back. And continue with the cats and dogs at your own pace. Feeling how every vertebra lines up in these beautiful shapes for you. And then after your next, while you're in your next cat, pause and come to a neutral spine and bring your forearms down to the mat. So you're going to make sure that your elbows are under your shoulders, your arms are parallel. And we're going to just slide back and forth, sending our hips back and forth, the crown of our head back and forth. Right. And then come back to a neutral spine. So I said we were going to stay close to the earth in this class. So our first earth creature is going to be Bakasana, the frog pose. So you'll stay with your forearms, on your forearms, and you're going to begin to open your knees from side to side. And it may be just a little bit, it may be a whole lot. Whatever your body is comfortable with, open your legs nice and wide. Frog pose, frog variation. Allow your legs, flex your feet like you're a frog getting ready to leap. And we're going to do a little sliding here like we just did in our table. So send your crown of your head forward. Let your hips lead you back. Frog pose. And then come back to neutral. So you could just slide your knees to center from wherever they are. If your legs are especially wide apart, your knees are especially wide apart, what I like to do is turn under my toes, lift my hips, and bring them back, bring my knees back to center. So stay with your forearms and then send your legs back behind you, lengthening them all the way back. So we're in Sphinx pose now. So your elbows are under your shoulders, fingers pointing forward, parallel forearms. You're going to swivel your both forearms, so that your fingers are pointing to the corners of the mat. And you're going to step your hand just a little bit farther away. You're going to press into your hands and straighten your arms for a cobra variation. And bend your elbows, come back down. Send your fingers forward, replace your elbows, and step your hands one hand's distance forward and come up to straight arms. Bring your elbows back down to the mat. Walk your hands so that your elbows are under your shoulders. And you may go back to where we just were, or you might want to try a little bit deeper, a bend by straightening your arms from here, a little bit deeper back bend. And then bring your elbows back down. Good. Place your hands, pile them up one on top of the other, elbows going out to the side, bringing your forearm to rest on your hands. Your feet and legs come together. This is Makarasana, the crocodile pose. So you here are a crocodile. And crocodile has a really big jaw. And you're going to lift your head and step your arms just a little bit closer to you and open up that jaw. It's kind of a little bit of a dog back. And then you're going to close it by bringing your head down on the top of your head, your forehead, or the line of your hairline might touch your hands. So you're closing your jaw. Just got Captain Hook. Got that? And then open that jaw and close it. And now just come all the way down. Lift your head and send your arms alongside your breast. With your arms alongside your breast, we're going to do a baby cobra. So keep your legs close together. We have our next reptile. And you're going to push in to the mat. And we're going to do a baby cobra. So strike that. You're not pushing into the mat. You're not going to use your hands at all. You're just going to lift your shoulders and your head. And let the top of your feet help you with this. So you can press into the mat with the top of your feet or your toes, and then melt back down. Do that once more. Lift just your head and shoulders, baby cobra, no hands involved. And melt back down. Now this time we're going to do mama cobra. So, or called king cobra. So in this pose, it's really, really important to have your elbows reaching back behind you, close to your ribs. You're pressing your hands into the mat, and you're going to come up without necessarily straightening your arms, because you want to leave your pubic bone on the mat for a true cobra, king cobra. Inhale and then exhale back down. Melt all the way back down to your mat. Press your hands into the mat and come up into a table. So from the table, send your hips to one side, either one side or the other, all the way down to the mat, to come into seated position, to come into a seat. Right. So take a deep breath. And we're going to do a lateral stretch to the left. So right arm alongside right ear, your left arm, left hand on the mat, your elbow is bent to keep your shoulder away from your ear, and stretch that right arm. Stretch it. Feel that stretch on the side, on your right side body. And we did this of the full side body earlier, but it feels very different here. At least I find that. Inhale, come up to center. Exhale, other direction. Inhale to center. Bring your arms down alongside your body. So you're going to send your legs in front of you and bring the soles of your feet together and shake them out. So do butterfly wings with your knees, yeah. And then pause, bring your hands to your shins, and just a few cats and dogs here like we did before, and you'll notice how different it feels when you're seated. So begin your exhale in your cat, and inhale, come forward with your heart. Exhale, and inhale your own pace. Don't necessarily go the way I'm going. I like it slow. And from your next cat, you're going to come up to sit. All right. So you're going to work on our shoulders now. So look up a little bit and notice what it is you want and find it. And then you're going to reach for it with one hand. You're going to reach for it. You're going to make a fist. You're going to grab it and bring it down with a little bit of energy. The other arm, you're going to reach up. You're going to grab it and bring it down. Now both together. Reach up, grab it, bring it down. Once more. Reach up, grab it, and bring it down. Okay, good. Send your arms forward. There's something in front of you you may want. Reach for it, grab it, and bring it down. So your elbows coming towards your waist, your arms flexing those biceps. Send your arms out and in. Give it a little energy. The more you do, you can do this very gently, or you can put a little more effort in it to really work those muscles, those arm muscles. And release it. All right. So this time we're going to rotate our arms so that our palms are facing up, and we're going to do pretty much the same thing, all right? But it's going to work our triceps here and bicep at the same time, and you're going to do the same thing. And release, release just a few times. Place one forearm on top of the other. Now remember which forearm is on top. Your forearms should be the same height as your shoulders. Because when we come back, we're going to do this in a continuous flow. So each time you come forward, you want to switch arms. So let's begin. Inhale, exhale, send your elbows back behind you. Inhale together. Exhale back, as if your elbows could reach each other. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. And release it, bring it down, good. All right, let's do some circles from our seat. So go around in a circle, and you could go as far back as you like, come as far forward as you like, or you can do little baby circles. I like the little ones, but whatever you feel to do. And then come to center and go the other way. Okay. So our legs are called, the way they are now in this diamond shape is our Tadasana legs, and we're going to do the Tadasana pose. So back to forearm over forearm. You're going to inhale and you're going to exhale, and with a flat back, with a nice straight back, you're going to come forward. You're going to inhale, you're going to exhale, you're going to bring your arms down just a little bit. You're going to inhale and then exhale a little bit more. Inhale and exhale and come your full range as far as you can comfortably reach. Maybe your arms are resting on your legs. Maybe they're up a little bit higher. Any amount is fine. So notice that your toes and from knee to knee is one triangle, and your forearms and your hips create a second triangle, the six-pointed star. Let your head drop between your arms and legs. And lift your head back up and release your arms, let your wings go, right? Place your legs as wide as your mat, your feet as wide as your mat, your hands behind you, preferably with your fingers forward to keep your arms in alignment. If that's too uncomfortable, it's okay to bring them out to the side a bit. And just windshield wiper your knees, your shins, back and forth. Okay, and now when you have both your legs to the right, you're going to pause. You're going to put your left hand on your left hip, your back hip, and you're going to rock your hip. Rock it back and forth. Just rock it so you're coming forward and going back, coming forward and going back. And then come to stillness. Okay, we're going to do this in stages, right? So you have options here. Bring both your hands outside your right thigh, the thigh that you're pointing to. And you're going to walk your hands onto your mat. All right, so you can stay right here, or the next step would be to bring your forearms down and look forward, and you can stay right here, or you can bring your chest down. You can stay right here, or you can send your arms straight out to the side and look over to the opposite direction from where your knees are going. If that's too uncomfortable, then go the other way. Let your head go the other way, however it's comfortable. If you're in the pose with your arms extended, slide your hands under your shoulders, straighten your arms, and walk your hands back to come back to center on the mat, knees to the sky, right? Send your knees to the left. Then you're going to begin, forgive my back, and you're going to begin rocking and rolling your hips. Your one hip. All right. And so both your hands outside your left thigh, forgive my back once again, and walk onto your mat. This way you can see how it looks from both sides. Forearms come down first, or again, stay up here if you like, or just come out of the twist. It's a very deep twist. Bring your chest down to the mat. Stay here, or send your arms into a T shape. Your gaze in the opposite direction of your knees. If that's uncomfortable, too uncomfortable, go the other way. Slide your hands underneath your shoulders, straight arms. Walk your hands all the way back around and take the time. Don't spin all the way around because that's how you get hurt. And come back to center. Okay. So now we're going to do, you don't want to see that, right? So we're going to do Krimasana. Krimasana is the tortoise pose. So you're going to lift both your knees to the ceiling, your soles of your feet are flat on the mat. And you're going to come forward in between your legs a little bit. And we're going to do this two ways. So the first way would be just to place your forearm underneath your right, this is my right forearm underneath my right calf. And let my leg open up. That's where we want to go. And then on the other side, the same thing. So both your arms are underneath your legs, all right? And then you're gonna walk your feet together, or not, you could leave them where they were. You're gonna take a deep inhale, and then an exhale, you're gonna create your shell. Kodasana, the tortoise pose. You're gonna lift your little head up out of the shell. If you don't like what you see, just go back inside. Then you can come all the way up and release your arms. So now we're going to do this a different way. And this is a little bit more challenging. So you can do it the same way we just did it, or you can try this way. So this way, you're lifting one leg. So you're going to come up. So this is my right leg. You're gonna come up onto your left hip and send your right arm underneath your right leg. And then you're going to rotate your arm so your thumb is facing down, and wrap your arm around your hip. And then you're going to come on the other side and do the same thing, so that you have your two arms wrapped around. And in this variation, your feet, there are people who can actually, bind their hands. I'm not one of them. So this is as far as I go. So you're going to send your feet a little bit away in this pose, and your head is going to come all the way down inside to create your shell. So imagine that your feet are the little tortoise feet, and your hands behind you, little feet in the back. And you're inside your shell now fully. And you're going to lift your head, see what's out there. Take a deep inhale and come back in your shell. So carefully lift one leg and remove your arm. And then on the other hip, remove the other arm. So there it is. Send your legs straight out in front of you and shake them out and rotate. All right, excellent. Right. All right, so we had a snake, we had a turtle, a tortoise, we had a frog. Okay, so now we're going to come up and stand, and we're going to work on our lizards. But we're going to do this in a flow. So come to your mountain pose first. Make sure your shoulders are over your hips, hips over ankles. Send your shoulders forward, up, back, and down. Let your arms fall naturally by your side. Bring your belly towards your spine to help lift you up. Crown of your head is moving forward. Feet rooted in the earth. Crown of your head reaching for the heavens, a mountain. Let's do a sun breath. Inhale, gather. Exhale, bring that energy to your heart. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale and exhale. Right. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come halfway to a flat back, and try this time to send your arms streaming alongside your hips. If you feel more comfortable with your hands on your shins or thighs, then do what works for you, all right? So, but if you can, if you feel comfortable like this, your arms are streaming back behind you. Then you're going to bend your knees, send your right leg back behind you. Now get your alignment in your low lunge. You're in a low lunge. Now, you probably don't have blocks at home. I typically like to use blocks here because it gives you a little bit more height. So if you have something like that, please feel free to use it. Bring your right knee to the mat, turn over your toes. Send your arms streaming alongside your hips like you did. You're leaning forward and you're gonna swing yourself up, but your hips are sliding forward. Anjaneyasana. Bring your arms down, and as you do, straighten your legs, send your hips back behind you, bow over your straight leg. Inhale, back up. Exhale, bow. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Hands to the mat. Turn under your toes. Lift your knee away from the mat. Swivel your right foot so that it's in line. Look down, make sure the arch of your back foot is in line with the heel of your left. Bring your left arm to your left thigh and windmill all the way up to Warrior Two. So Warrior Two's feet are grounded to the earth. Nice, long, straight back leg. Your back leg's at a slight, very slight angle. Very slight. Your knee is over your ankle, not forward of it. And maybe what you'd like to do, just for the fun of it, for the challenge of it, is walk your foot a little bit farther away so you could come down a little bit lower in your warrior, maybe, right? And make sure your shoulders are square and you look over your left arm, sizing up your challenge. Bring your right arm to your right thigh. Peaceful warrior, send that peace signal out. You're going to bring your forearm on your left thigh. Your right arm alongside your right ear. Nice long stretch. Straight line from your fingertips to your heel. Then straighten your leg for triangle. And remember that triangle is all straight lines. Triangles have no curves. So there's a triangle in the middle. There's triangle in here. So you don't want to be curled down. So you can come up here. You want to maintain straight lines. That's important, all right, for this pose. Back to Warrior Two. Now you're going to windmill back down the way you got into Warrior Two and come back to a low lunge. You're going to have to arrange your feet because you want your knee over your ankle, your leg nice and long behind you. Now you're going to place both arms inside your left leg. Straight arms, you're looking forward. This is a straight-armed lizard. So you can stay just like this. If you would like to, you can bring your knee down to the mat. Your choice. If you would like to go to a crouching lizard, we're going to bring our forearms to the mat or to a block or to a pillow or whatever you have handy. And maybe you'll lift your knee away from the mat, or maybe not. All right. So come back onto straight arms. So you can stay right here, or you can follow me, bend your elbows, come as far down to the mat. Now, all that work we did with our shoulders before was for this, a flying lizard. So your left arm is under your left leg, your right arm is reaching out. So these are wings, lizard wings. Bring your arms back inside. Bring your knee down if it's not already. Bring your left leg back. Downward facing dog. And take a few breaths here in down dog. Step your right leg forward, left leg forward. Uttanasana. Fly out and up and down the center line. Okay, we're going to do the other side. Send your arms out and above. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, bend your knees, hands to the mat, left leg goes back. Low lunge. Get your alignment. Make sure your hips are square. You don't have one leaning out. Bring your left knee to the mat. Stay forward and swing your arms up for Anjaneyasana. Exhale, straighten your legs and bow. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Bring your hands to the mat. Come back to low lunge. So step the ball of your left foot on the mat. You're going to swivel it. Make sure heel is lined to arch. Bring your right hand on your right thigh. Windmill up. Warrior two. And again, if you'd like to widen your warrior, then go for it. Right. Square your shoulders, look over your right fingertips. Left arm comes down, right arm reaches up, side bend here. Peaceful warrior. Forearm to thigh. Left arm alongside left ear. And in this pose, and I didn't mention it before, but you want to, again, make sure, like in is the same as in a triangle, you want your heart facing away from you. So from here, it's an easier transition to triangle pose. Back to warrior two. Windmill down, back down to the mat, low lunge. Bring both arms inside your right leg for a straight-armed lizard. Bring your knee to the mat at any time in any of these positions. Bring your forearms down, maybe. And let's do a little lizard work here because, you know, we should also be working on our tongue in yoga, all right? So a little lizard hiss. Send your tongue out. Grab that fly. All right, all right. So come back up to straight arms. You're going to bend your elbow and bring your shoulder all the way down so that you can send your right arm underneath your right leg and your left arm out for a flying lizard. Remember, your knee can be on the mat. Bring both arms in. Let's go directly to down dog from here. And take 5 breaths. Step your left foot forward. And again, that can be 1 step, 2 step, 3 steps, using your hand to help you. Step your back leg forward, Uttanasana. Fly out and up and down the center line. Right, great. So lots of lizards, lots of reptiles, I should say. A couple of amphibians in there. All right, so bring your chin to your chest, shrug your shoulders, let them curl down, and begin your journey. Deepen your knees down to the mat. Come all the way down to the mat, and you will make your way on to your back. Soles of your feet on the mat. Bring your knees into your chest, hug them, and roll from side to side. And we're going to do some work on our back. We did a lot of back bending, right? So we're going to release our back now. So lift your hips and send your hips closer to your heels so you flatten your back a little bit more on the mat. Send your right shoulder into the mat on an inhale. Exhale, release it. Again, inhale and exhale. Send your left shoulder to the mat. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Send both your shoulders to the mat. Inhale and feel that little bitty dog spine. Exhale, release. Again, inhale both shoulders into the mat. Feel your heart reaching upward. Exhale, release. Bring forearm over forearm. So start with your fingers pointing to the ceiling, and then bring forearm over forearm. And you're going to inhale, and then on an exhale, you'll go to one side, whichever side you intuitively prefer to go to. Inhale to center, exhale, opposite side. Inhale, exhale. So we're getting our shoulder blades here, our upper back. One more time, and back to center. Right. Bring your knees into your chest, put one hand on each knee. Send your right knee away from you, straightening your right arm. And then alternate. Now your left leg goes forward, straight arm, and your right leg comes in, bent elbow. And then continue going back and forth. And notice where you feel this. Notice it is somewhat your lower back, a little bit your sacrum. You can feel your sacrum, your lower ribs. And then bring both knees back into your chest. And now we're going to send both legs at the same time, send them away, and then bring them back in. And notice how your back flattens, totally flat on the mat when your knees are in, and how you have that beautiful arch when your knees go away. Continue with this back and forth. Next time your knees are in your chest, pause. Open your knees wide apart. And then send your knees forward, bring them together, and then bring them back to your chest. Send them apart. So you're making circles with your knees, opposite direction circles. Nice big circles. And then when your knees are in your chest next, go the other way. And bring your knees back to your chest. Release your arms and make big circles with both your knees at the same time. And you'll notice without using your arms, you can get more of your hip involved here. So you can make bigger circles, nice and wide, going all the way around, getting every inch of our back body involved in this cool down. And then when your knees are to your chest, stop and go the other way. And you can even separate your knees if you like. Do whatever you wish, as long as your knees are both going in the same direction. Should be okay. And then come to center and bring your feet down on to the mat. And you'll reach for a blanket or a block or a pillow. You're going to press your feet into the mat, lift your hips, and slide your blanket or your pillow or a book or whatever you have that works. I'm using a blanket. And send one leg up to the sky and let your leg be directly over your hip. So it's not all the way to your nose or down here, just directly over your hip as if you were in an L shape. And then the other leg. And let your arms just relax anywhere. So we're going to just enjoy this inversion. If you'd like to play a little bit here, you may take the next minute or so to do that. Maybe separating your legs. Maybe bringing the soles of your feet together, your knees out to the side, or just stay in this lovely, gentle inversion. Allowing your blood to flow better than it was before. And whenever you're ready, take your time. You'll bring your feet to the mat. You'll lift your hips to remove anything if you had underneath your hips and come to Shavasana. So one leg goes out, but you don't have to rush to get here. Just take your time. You all know Shavasana. And let your legs just splay open. Your arms are rotated. And we did a lot of this rotation today, rotating so that you can have your arms, your hands comfortably turned upward, palms reaching for the heavens. Your right hand is your giving hand, your left hand, your receiving hand. letting that flow, letting that flow. Feel your head getting heavy, your shoulders melting into the mat, your ribs, your hips, your whole back body, your legs, your arms, giving in to gravity. Om Namah Shivaya. I surrender to transformation and welcome the changes that will lead me to who I am. Deepen your breath to begin to re-enter your body. Roll your head from side to side. Make gentle movements with your hands, with your feet. Send your arms overhead, your feet in the opposite direction for a deep body yawn, a big long stretch. Then bring your knees into your chest and hug them. And roll from side to side. And come to center and roll over onto whichever side you prefer to come to a fetal position, our rebirth. And then make your way up to sit. When you get there, Take your time. You'll bring your hands to your heart. Let's remember to exercise a positive attitude, to send positive energy out wherever you are. It's just a smile on your face will work. Doesn't have to be a lot of effort. Let's just all together make that intention for the day, if you wish. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all beings everywhere be happy and free. And may we contribute to that happiness and freedom for all. Namaste.